You married me to destroy my family?
Believe me, Elena, I feel empty after the revenge. Now, I feel empty without you.
On the day of their wedding, Adrian looked at his new wife and made himself one promise. He would make her family pay for destroying his. What she didn't know was that Adrian hadn't married her because he loved her. He had married her for revenge. But revenge became complicated when the woman he planned to destroy became the woman he couldn't live without. 3 years earlier, Adrian's father had lost everything. His company collapsed overnight. Their home was seized. And before Adrian could understand what had happened, his father died, leaving him with nothing but questions. Adrian eventually discovered that a powerful businessman named Richard Morgan had been behind the downfall. Richard had manipulated a business deal that destroyed Adrian's father's company. Adrian never forgot his name. Years later, Adrian returned to the city as a successful businessman. He had rebuilt his life. But he hadn't forgotten his revenge. Then he discovered Richard had one weakness. His daughter, Elena. Elena was completely different from the cold and ruthless man Adrian hated. She was kind, quiet, and completely unaware of what her father had done. But Adrian didn't care. He approached her. He made her believe he genuinely loved her. And when he proposed, Elena said yes. She had no idea she was walking straight into a revenge plan. Their wedding was beautiful. Everyone smiled for the cameras. But while Elena looked at her husband with love, Adrian looked at her and thought about his father's ruined life. He had finally gotten close to the Morgan family. Now he could destroy them from the inside. After the wedding, Adrian began carrying out his plan. He slowly bought shares in Richard's company. He cancelled important business partnerships. He exposed financial secrets. And every time Richard suffered a loss, Adrian felt closer to the revenge he had spent years waiting for. But Elena noticed something. Her husband wasn't happy. He often stayed awake at night. He avoided talking about his past. And sometimes, when he looked at her, there was sadness in his eyes. She didn't understand it. She only knew that she was falling deeply in love with him. Then one night, Elena found an old photograph in Adrian's study. It showed a younger Adrian standing beside his father. Behind the photograph was a newspaper article about the collapse of the company. And Richard Morgan's name was printed across the page. Elena froze. For the first time, she understood. Adrian hadn't married her for love. He had married her because she was Richard's daughter. When Adrian came home that night, Elena was waiting. She placed the photograph on the table. "Did you ever love me?" Adrian couldn't answer. That silence was enough. Elena's heart shattered. She had believed every promise. Every kiss on her forehead. Every late-night conversation. Every moment she thought they were building a life together. Now she realized that their marriage had started as a lie. She left that night. Adrian let her go. But the moment the door closed behind her, something inside him broke. He had gotten exactly what he wanted. Richard was losing everything. The Morgan family was falling apart. His revenge was complete. So why didn't he feel happy? Because somewhere along the way, revenge had stopped being the most important thing in his life. Elena was. Days passed. Then weeks. Adrian searched everywhere for her. When he finally found her, she was preparing to leave the city. He stood in front of her. He didn't ask her to forgive him. He knew he didn't deserve it. Instead, he told her the truth. He told her about his father's death. About the company. About the revenge. And then he admitted something he had never planned to say. He had fallen in love with her. Not because she was Richard Morgan's daughter. Not because marrying her would hurt her family. But because she was Elena. The woman who had stayed beside him when he couldn't sleep. The woman who remembered the smallest things about him. The woman who had loved him before she knew his real intentions. Elena listened silently. Then she asked him one question. If you could go back to the day you met me, knowing everything you know now, would you still marry me? Adrian looked at her. Yes. She lowered her eyes. Even without the revenge? He nodded.
Especially without the revenge, Elena.
Especially without the revenge. For the first time, Elena saw tears in his eyes. The man who had returned to the city determined to destroy her family had finally realized the truth. He had spent years searching for someone to blame for his father's death. But in the process, he had almost destroyed the one person who had given him a reason to live again. Elena didn't forgive him that day. But she didn't walk away either. And for Adrian, that was enough. Because revenge had brought them together. But if he ever earned another chance, he wanted love to be the reason they stayed together. Okay, what do you think? I want to hear from you in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications for the next story. Thank you for watching.